everybody, welcome to my channel. So nice to have you here. Today's video is a case study on the first property that we ever bought. But firstly, if you're new, welcome. My name's Debs. So nice to have you here. I am standing on our plot. We are currently in the process of renovating this house and we're building another one next door. There are videos that you can see if you want to follow that journey, but today we're going to be talking about the first house. So we did some training with Legacy, who were amazing. It was a really helpful experience for us. I was only 23 at the time and I was really nervous about buying property. It took us a whole year in order to decide even what area we were doing. I did loads of viewings, put loads of offers out. I even had 2 properties accepted and I pulled out because I was nervous. I mean, one of them was a bad house because the whole gable wall was falling down, which I just didn't notice when I went to see it. So I'm really glad that we didn't get those houses now. But our first one was really frightening, and looking back I think, gosh, this is such a good deal. But I was just looking for the perfect house, and the thing is, there is no perfect house. You just got to work with what you've got. So let me tell you about this. It's on a street in Liverpool. We chose Liverpool in the end. I love that city. It's so great. It's got some really cheap property prices. So we found this property in a student area in Wavertree, and we had an offer agreed at 88,000. Now we bought this house from a company that does all the advertising, as you probably heard or seen in like perhaps newspapers online. Do you need to sell your house quick? I don't even want to know what they bought that house from. We had to buy it cash because they'd only bought it recently. I'm really aware that they would have got a really good price for that property. They then sold it on to us. They sold it on the open market and we bought it for 88,000. At the time, the stamp duty thing hadn't come in, so our fees were about £2,500, and that was like all the legal fees and the broker and all that. We did have some finance costs because we had to borrow all the money. We were buying it cash. There was quite a lot of money we had to put up, and that was about £4,500, I think, in the end. We were paying 5% interest on that, which I know is really good. I know some of you are probably paying a lot more than that, perhaps 7, 8, 10%, and I think my thoughts on that would be just really make sure you got your numbers right. I'm so grateful we weren't paying more than 5%. If you're paying 10%, you need to be leaving yourself a decent contingency in case something goes wrong. We ended up paying about £40,000 for the renovation. Now we decided to go with a builder called Neil and Nigel. We found them through the Federation of Master Builders, and they were really good. They did an excellent job. In hindsight, we paid an awful lot of money to them. So for example, they put a £7,000 kitchen in, which I now know that we could obviously get a lot cheaper. I wish I'd been a bit more involved with those kind of things because I know we could have got a better price, but we ended up spending £40,000 on the renovation and the furnishing. So this house needed literally everything doing to it. The only good thing about it was it had double glazing, which was great, but it needed central heating, it had dry rot, loads of the wood needed replacing. The bathroom was just so gross. The kitchen was just awful. It just literally needed ripping out. It went completely back to brick. So the thing with students, it's really important that you do really high spec. Don't skimp on these properties if you're doing students. You want really good students who are going to treat the house really well. You don't want it to be the party house, and the nasty house will be the party house. So you've been warned. Do it properly. You're not going to lose out by doing a good job because it's going to last you so much longer. Just do it properly. You know, you've got people living there, you're making money, do it properly, yeah? Students tend to secure next year's property in the winter, even though they're not moving in till July. So a lot of the properties have already gone. So we were coming to the game a bit late. And also we had this massive renovation to do, which wasn't finished until about March, April time. So I had to print out loads of pictures of what it would look like. We had some CAD drawings showing what the kitchen was going to look like. And we actually managed to secure 4 tenants in there while the work was going on. I think they even got to look around while it was all in progress. We do have an amazing letting agent. They're called MGN Lettings. So if you're buying a student house in Liverpool, check them out. They're really good. They're really on the ball. I mean, some letting agents will have really dodgy, and they were just clearly not up to standard with some of the legislation and things that needed to be in place. Whereas MGN were brilliant. I really like them. So we're still, all of our student properties are with them now. Let's just run through the figures and talk about how much money we've got left in, how long is that going to take to come back. So we managed to refinance this property for £145,000. That was really good. We actually did our figures on 140, so we're really glad to get that extra £5,000 in our figures because we did leave money in this deal. If it's a student house, obviously you're expecting to leave a bit more in. This is still a really good deal and we're so pleased with it even today. So we refinanced at 145. That means that our loan at 75% was 108,750 minus the purchase price of 88,000 minus our refurb and our furnishings, which was 40,000, and then minus both those sets of fees, the cost of money and the other costs like legal costs. That was a total of £7,000. That means that the money we left in altogether was £26,250. Now when we were looking at this property, we knew we were going to leave money in, and I remember going to one of the trainings and being just so nervous because we were like, oh goodness, like this is how much money we're leaving in. We should be looking for all money out deals. Oh, we can't find them, but this is the one that's really good. I'm so glad now that we decided to go with this property. It's still today one of the best properties that we have. Working out what our return on investment is, or how long is it going to take us to get our money back. Our rental on this property is just under £1,500 a month. Our mortgage is £363 a month. That's about 4% interest on that. We do interest only on this property. And then obviously we have 12% management fees, so that comes to £180 a month. Now that management fee actually includes the tenant find fee, which I think is a really good deal. A lot of the multi-let HMO managers, they can kind of put all those fees on top and it can get really expensive. One of the reasons we love students was all those fees are kind of condensed into one price with our letting agent anyway. And then of course we have our 10%, which is always in preparation for any maintenance or voids. Again, with students, you don't really get voids, it's year-long tenancies. I know in some cities it's slightly different. You might only be rented out for 10 months of the year rather than 12, but Liverpool, they're rented all year long. So we have no voids. One student moves out on the 30th of June and the next one moves in on 1st of July. It's fab, I love those. That means that our monthly cash flow is £807 a month. So in order to work out how long it's going to take for that money to pay the money we have left in, remember we've got £26,250 left in. We take that amount, 26,250, and we divide it by our annual income, so we make £800 a month. We times that by 12 and that comes to £9,684. And that equals 2.7. It's going to take 2.7 years to pay that money back. And we've already owned this property for 4 years. That property has already paid itself back. So we had a long-term angel which had that 26 and a bit left in. We were able to pay them back in just over 2.5 years. So in order to figure out what the ROI is, we do 9,684 divided by 26,250. We times that number by 100 in order to get a percentage, and that takes us to 39% ROI. Now that is such a good deal considering it's our first one. But I just want to encourage you, like, if you don't have a deal yet, like, the first one is the hardest. At the time, we thought this wasn't a good deal because we were leaving money in, and in hindsight, you're like, this is a flipping amazing deal. So I just want to encourage you, like, if you're nervous about getting your first one, you just have to get your first one. Just get over it, get over that hurdle. Maybe it's not the deal of the century for the first one, but the first one's always going to be really hard. You just need to get through your fears, get through the nerves. Just remember, it took me a whole year to get that first deal. Don't panic, you can do it, I believe in you. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that video. I am going to do some more case studies. We have done a couple of money out deals. I'm going to be running through those figures at another time and do another video on those. If you're interested in seeing videos about this, I will leave a link up here. This is our bungalow, 3-bed bungalow, which we are turning into a 5-bed house. In that gap over there is where the new house is going to be, and this over here is our static caravan where we live. So if you want to see anything about that, then please click the links. It's been so lovely to have you today. Hope you have a really good day, and I'll see you all very soon. All right, bye.